Muskan and welcome back to another book review. I am really excited about this review. You guessed it, it's the second book in the Inheritance Games series, The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And for those of you who couldn't guess it, you should go watch my review of the book, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So The Hawthorne Legacy is the second book in the Inheritance Games series. I very recently reviewed the Inheritance Games. I did not expect to fall in love with it so quickly. I was amazed at the writing. If you want to hear my thoughts on this one, I will leave the link of the review in the comments below, so don't forget to check it out. After having such a blast reading the first book, The Inheritance Games, I was really scared about reading the second one because usually in series, the second book is not up to par with the first book. It's not up to par with the third book, and it's sort of just the build-up part of the entire series. I was just looking forward to end it and then just get on to the third one. But boy, this book did not disappoint. The Hawthorne Legacy was as amazing as the first book. I could not put this one down either. I mean, in the first book, the story was in the initial stages of development. So the mysteries and the puzzles were a big factor to keep the readers engaged in this one. But in this one, the requirement was to build the stories and build the characters. And this book did not disappoint. The turns and twists were amazing. I could not have guessed them. Jennifer Lynn Barnes has mastered the art of misdirection. She will make you think that the plot or the twist that is about to come is gonna go a certain way, and at the end moment she's gonna flip it and throw it in your face. I think that's gonna be it for the non-spoilery section of the video. If you've not read the Inheritance Games or the Hawthorne Legacy, you should not be waiting for it. Just go and read it and come back to watch the rest of the video. Oh, my back. So by the end of the first book, we know that Toby Hawthorne is still alive, and we know that it's Henry, the homeless guy that Avery used to play chess with. And as things start progressing in this book, we have reason to believe that Toby is Avery's father. In the first book, reading from Avery's perspective, we had no idea whom Avery could trust or why she was the one who inherited Tobias Hawthorne's full fortune. But by the end of it, we realized that it might be because of her connection with Toby, the long-lost Hawthorne son, which everyone thought to be dead. And during the course of the Hawthorne Legacy, little by little, we start peeling off the mystery of Toby Hawthorne. At first, we identify that he is not dead. And after that, we realize that not only he is not dead, but he is the homeless guy that Avery used to play chess with. So now we know that there's definitely a reason why Avery was chosen to be the heiress. It was because of her connection to Toby Hawthorne. And I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. Even though after I read it, I thought it was really obvious, but at that point, I was not expecting that. I had absolutely forgotten about Henry, the homeless guy. And when that revelation happened, I was really surprised. But that's not where the mystery ended. The next layer to Toby Hawthorne's mystery was that he was involved in burning down a house, because of which 3 other people had died. Little by little, all the pieces started to come together. Why Henry decided not to come back to the Hawthorne house. Why Tobias Hawthorne chose Avery to be his heiress. The last 2 things that we find out about Toby in this book is that he's adopted. He's not actually a Hawthorne, but a Laughlin by blood, which was another crazy revelation. But at this point, it did start to feel like a little bit of plot armor. And by the time we get all of these revelations, Avery and us, we're all convinced that Henry is Avery's father. So that's why even though we go through so many plot twists in this book, when we get that DNA report back of Ricky and Avery and it matches, that was the biggest shock of it all. I mean, I don't understand. At that point, I was so stumped. I was so sure that even though it's too obvious, it has to be. Avery has to be Toby's daughter. And because Toby was adopted, she does not share any blood with the Hawthornes. It did make a lot of sense. But the DNA report came out positive. And if that was not enough, Avery was kidnapped by Grayson's actual father, who didn't really want anything to do with him, to lure out Toby. Because even he thought that Toby was Avery's father. He has one more DNA report, which says that Avery is the daughter of Toby Hawthorne. At that point, I was so confused as to which report was actually true. But at the end of it, even though we all really wanted it to be true, Toby Hawthorne was not actually Avery's father. Rick was. But he did actually name her. That's why her name, when rearranged, is a very risky gamble. Which is why Tobias Hawthorne instantly knew that there has to be a connection between her and his son. This book unraveled so many mysteries. It was so fast-paced, I could not put it down. Although there were a few things that I didn't really like about this book. The first one is, please don't kill me, but I really was so annoyed by Max in this book. I mean, even though she was not a very big part of this book, but whenever she used those fact-saying fake swear words, I just wanted to throw something at her. Anyway, that was a very minor inconvenience, but the other thing that I didn't like in this book was a little major. It was the development of the love triangle between Avery, Grayson and Jameson. And I said that in my last book review as well. I knew that Jameson was gonna be endgame, even though Grayson might have been the one who had deeper feelings for Avery. But I'm not sour because what I wanted to happen did not happen. I didn't really care that much, but how they ruined Grayson's character in this book, I really hated that. I actually enjoyed Jameson's character development throughout this book. It made him more likable. It made his and Avery's eventual togetherness very believable, very shippable. But they did not have to do my boy Grayson so dirty. At first, Grayson finds his actual father in this book. And that guy's a straight up asshole. He doesn't want to talk to Grayson. He's known about Grayson his whole life. And he just basically doesn't care. And then when the bomb blast happened, I still don't understand why Grayson would not run towards Avery. The Grayson that we knew from the Inheritance games would have definitely gone after Avery, and there was no explanation given for it either. I mean, I don't know why this happened. I don't see it aligning with this character, nor are we offered any explanation for it. I'm hoping we get that in the next book. So anyway, after reading the Hawthorne Legacy, we now know that Toby is not Avery's father, but he still thinks of Avery as his daughter. I mean, it was very sweet when he came to save her and then found out that he actually has a biological daughter as well. Avery told him to go take care of her daughter, and he just told her that he doesn't have one daughter, he has two. I think that was very sweet. Although he doesn't want his actual daughter, I think her name was Emily or Evelyn, one of the two. He doesn't want her to be publicly exposed as his daughter. I think that's gonna keep her out of the action for a major part of the last book, but I'm definitely sure she's gonna come into play somehow because she and Toby are the only loopholes in Tobias Hawthorne's will. I'm really excited to read what happens next and how they plan to end the story. All in all, I'm gonna give the Hawthorne Legacy a 4.5 stars out of 5. I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the Inheritance games, if not more. I think it had all the qualities of a good second book in a series. It built on the characters, the development of the story was very strong. It was still engaging, the mystery was still intact, and even though we solved so many of the mysteries, I am still really excited to see what happens next. So that's all for this review, guys. See you in the next one. If you've read this book, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And do like, share and subscribe.